Hello my friends, my name is Artur Rehi and I am an Estonian soldier. What am I wearing? What is this? Usually I wear Adidas tracksuit, but today some of you guys sent me this a long time ago. Let me know if you recognize this camo. Of course you do. It's American. I think it's Marines, yeah, or Army. Sorry if I make a mistake here. Well, today we're going to watch something not that much military, but I think it is actually. The United States President flies in the Air Force One, and if a nuclear attack on America happens, he goes up there and it stays up there for, I don't know, months, and he runs the country and attacks and everything from there. So the Air Force One, very important for the military, connected to my channel. Let's see what is this plane. It costs 3.2 billion, so it's more expensive than the B-2 bomber, which is 2 billion. So this is the most expensive plane in the world, actually, I think. Before we go, as usual, I will make it fast for you. $10 patrons and above. I will read your name because you have contributed to this channel and I like it. I'm glad that you like this channel so much that you want to support. We have Larry Healy. Thank you for becoming a Patreon. We have Tyler Riley. Thank you for supporting the channel. Finally, we have Christopher Lung. Thank you. Lung. I breathe with my lungs, so I breathe with you, Christopher. I breathe with you. Breathe. No, I don't breathe. I breathe. Fuck, America. I don't know how to speak English. I don't breathe with Christopher. I breathe with him. Alright, thank you for becoming a Patreon. If you want to become a patron, the link is in the description below. That's the fastest way to support the channel. And my friends, we have a watch also. I have a watch for you. If you want a wristwatch, I got just a thing for you from Finland. Finland is north from Estonia, so you can be sure of its quality. Behold, the Finnish beautiful Rohje watch. Don't mind the black rifle configure. The Rohje watches. Let me take this one for example. Made in Finland, from reindeer leather skin. If you're a vegan, this is not for you. It's made from an animal skin. Reindeer leather. You don't believe they exist? Well, they do in Finland. It's a magical country. Finland, the country of snow, and Simo Häyhä, who you know as White Death. The guy shot 500 Russians in the Winter War with just an iron scope. Simo Häyhä had a lot of Rohje, which is braving and daring and adventurous. That's how the White Death shot so many Russians with his iron scope. So if you like this stuff, you like these stories, go and get yourself a Rohje watch. The link is in the description below. Thank you. Okay, my friends, let's see what is the Air Force One all about. What is the plane that Joe Biden flies in? And what is the plane, if nuclear attack happens, where is American president going to be in?
By any measure, the President of the United States official state aircraft is an impressive piece of kit. Not only is Air Force One tricked out with all the latest defensive gizmos, it also performs as a flying embassy, pampering eminent and projecting American confidence and authority around the world. But what actually goes down inside that world-famous fuselage? Today, we're taking to the skies and finding out what makes Air Force One special. Before we go any further, it's important to understand something very basic. Air Force One isn't technically an aircraft at all. Air Force One is an air traffic control call sign, denoting any aircraft that happens to have a sitting president on board at the time. Usually this is the familiar blue and white jet we've all seen on TV.
So Air Force One is any plane that houses the US president. If the US president is on Boeing 747 something international flight, then this plane becomes Air Force One. And if the president is not on this plane, it is not Air Force One. Is this how I understand it?
100 times. It's crucial to stress, however, that when that same plane jets off later that day without the president, it's no longer Air Force One. This kind of nomenclature was brought home painfully to Richard Nixon after his resignation in 1974. At the exact same moment his successor, Gerald Ford, was being sworn into office, Nixon's mid-air flight to California was unceremoniously downgraded from Air Force One to plain old SAM-2700. Dwight Eisenhower was the first president to enjoy the use of the iconic call sign. Air Force One was first coined after a hairy moment in 1953 when air traffic controllers couldn't distinguish between the president's Lockheed Constellation and a nearby commercial plane that happened to be using an identical flight number. But it was President John F. Kennedy who did most to craft our modern notion of what Air Force One actually is. JFK's savvy instinct for political theater inspired him to propose a kind of flying White House. A specifically modified Boeing 707 was promptly commissioned. Kennedy's glamorous wife Jackie is most often credited with overseeing the classic blue and white livery and chic interiors we all know and love. What's less well known is that the French-born designer Raymond Louis, who also designed the classic Coke bottle and cigarette boxes for Lucky Strike, was heavily involved too. Louis based the grandiose all-caps United States of America logo on the fuselage upon the Caslon typeface, which he had recently seen used to great effect on an original copy of the US Declaration of Independence. President Kennedy loved Air Force One, referring to it as his baby, but tragedy was soon to strike. In November 1963, Air Force One ferried Kennedy to its final engagement, a motorcade through the city of Dallas, during which he was brutally assassinated. In the immediate aftermath, Kennedy's Boeing 707 bore the painful duty of carrying the president's body home. On that same flight, Kennedy's successor, Lyndon Johnson, was sworn into office, documented in this haunting photograph, hand on Bible, standing next to a grieving Jackie Kennedy. Air Force One's role in such historic moments, of course, make it very special indeed. But it isn't all heavyweight drama. Some presidents have even managed to inject some fun into the Air Force One story. Take Gerald Ford, for instance. Every inch a man of the people, Ford was a huge fan of Coors beer. In those days...
Coors Light. I'm sorry, every kind of light beer. I like dark beer. It's very strong and dark, and alcohol percentage is like 5 or 6. We get this beer in Estonia, but light beers, we also have light beers in Estonia. Most people like them. But Coors Light, I've heard, is like Bud Light or every kind of light beer. It's like water. Yellow water, and I'm a fan of strong dark beers. When I was in LA, 3 years I lived there, they didn't have these strong dark beers, so I had to drink Heineken, which is an international beer, and I didn't feel good about this. And at all, I don't really like to drink beer. If I like to drink, I take vodka, or maybe whiskey, maybe rum. Because if you drink the same amount of rum or vodka, alcohol-wise, and you drink the same amount of beer, I think you would feel worse in the morning if you drank 6 or 7 beers and you drank 6 or 7 shots of vodka. Same alcohol levels, but beer is just, the organism takes a longer time and it's harder to process it. So, my friends, don't drink beer, drink vodka.
Coors was only available in a handful of states out west, so whenever Ford flew that way on presidential business, he'd insist staff stock up Air Force One with crates of his beloved Coors, so he'd have a stash to enjoy back home at the White House.
Hey, I'm an American president. Look at this. You have your private jet, you have some whiskey glasses, you're flirting with, I guess that's his wife, not the stewardess. It looks like a stewardess. Hey, flirting with the stewardesses. Maybe I should become the president of the United States of America. What do you think?
Somewhat more innocently, in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan kept jars of jelly beans on board Air Force One.
Jelly beans!
He'd also be seen in photographs practicing his golf game across a military in-flight putting green. Looking ahead to today, the Air Force One we know and love is a jumbo jet, right? Wrong. It's actually 2 identical jumbo jets. Twin Boeing 747-200Bs, bearing tail numbers 28000 and 29000 respectively, share the job, ensuring there's always a backup in case of emergency. And although these mighty aircraft might look superficially like the one that you used to go on vacation, they're actually quite different animals underneath. For one, they're almost entirely self-sufficient. Air Force One 747s have their own fold-out staircases and even their own baggage loading machinery, keeping interaction with potentially suspicious ground crews to a minimum. They can also refuel.
If you go to Germany, you go to whatever country. Obama came to Estonia actually once. They need to bring their own gear, because if you rely on local airport workers to unload your packages, they can be agents, they can poison something, they can put some bombs in something. So I think Obama was the strongest security mission in Estonia that ever was, and I think he brought everything. I think he trusted us, but we trust him. Estonians, we do trust him. I liked Obama, and we trust America in general. So your presidents, Joe Biden, come to Estonia. Bring Air Force Ones, both of them. We promise you, we don't have any bombs, we don't have any poison, we just welcome you. Just come to Estonia, have some fun. Let's go to the sauna. Yeah, drink something. Talk about the future of our 2 nations. Hey, if you know Joe Biden, give this message to him, please.
So technically remain airborne indefinitely if a crisis crops up. Air Force One's 26-strong regular crew are vetted to the highest military standards, but once established on the job, enjoy a rare intimacy and familiarity with the Commander-in-Chief. As such, President's final flights are famously emotional affairs. The food available on board is somewhat better than your average humdrum airline fare. 2 kitchens, each boasting their own $12 million refrigerator, are capable of producing gourmet standard grub for up to 100...
Somewhat better. This is better than I would eat in an Estonian best restaurant. Damn! And also, if all of the 26 members on board have to be highly militarily trained, even the people who bring them food, the butlers, let's say. So you are the highest military standard trained soldier, and the highest job you can get is this, closest to the president. So you would be delivering him whiskey or delivering him his meals. But underneath that butler, you're a killing machine. Ooh, ready to take down the US enemies. And you get to talk to the president. That's cool.
100 people at a time. Enough food for 2,000 meals is kept on the plane.
2,000?
Just in case, with supplies sourced by crew members wearing disguise at randomly selected grocery stores to prevent potential poisoning or other similar skullduggery.
Whoa.
If the worst should happen and the president gets sick, Air Force One is kitted out with an advanced onboard medical facility, complete with fold-out operating table, fully stocked pharmacy, and a doctor on call 24/7. Vital stocks of blood matching the commander-in-chief's blood type are also stashed aboard. Naturally, the White House of the Skies has some decent communications gear on board. No begging the stewardess for Wi-Fi access here. There's reputed to be 85 separate secure phone lines, supplemented by a number of two-way radios and even a fax machine. Well, you never know. As many as 19...
A fax machine! I would love to be able to hack that fax machine. If Joe Biden is in his plane, on his plane, I would hack it and send him a message like,
"Come to my Minecraft server, Mr. Joe Biden. I have a new Call of Duty server. Come and play with me."
It just prints out. Estonian Soldier wants you in his Minecraft server. Join now. IP address. Joe would be like, "Hey, an Estonian Minecraft server. I'm going, where's my computer? Hey, bring me my computer. There's a Minecraft server in Estonia. I gotta go. This is a security mission. I gotta..." I'm sorry, I got carried away there.
Television sets, reportedly costing several thousands of dollars apiece, and ultra-fast internet keep the president and his staff in constant contact with the ground. Some 238 miles of internal wiring, about twice as much as a regular 747, keep the lights on no matter what. As you might expect, Air Force One is also kitted out with the latest defensive technology. Its heavy shielding armor can help it withstand much of the fallout from a nuclear detonation, while gizmos embedded around the fuselage help scramble infrared missile guidance systems and hostile radar. Not to mention the fact Air Force One routinely ferries the infamous nuclear football around. This briefcase holds the necessary codes for launching an intercontinental atomic strike. How's that for carry-on weaponry?
Joe, if you attack Russia with the nuclear warheads, please don't put a nuclear warhead on St. Petersburg, because that is, yeah, it's Russia, it's a big city, the second biggest, but it's the closest city to Estonian border. It's about 150 miles, 200 miles. So if you attack that city, we are screwed. So please, just only do Moscow, not St. Petersburg, because that affects Estonia a lot. So, thank you very much.
All this tech comes at a mind-blowing cost. According to an Obama-era Freedom of Information request, Air Force One costs the American taxpayer some $206,337 for every hour it's up in the air.
For that money, I could buy myself a Lexus LX570. I like Lexus. I like the big SUVs. That's about 100,000. I could buy 2 Lexus LX570s for that money. Damn it, Obama! 1 hour of flight, and I could get 2 big cars. Just maybe fly 1 less hour and send that money to me, please.
Uncle Sam back $80,000 an hour. But the symbolism and prestige of Air Force One is surely worth every penny. Just look at how much mileage movie makers get out of this iconic airborne American institution. It really is quite special. And of course, many, if not most, of the advanced avionics and defense systems aboard Air Force One are classified. But still, it's fun to speculate. Put it this way, in at least 4 of the many movies set on Air Force One, the president uses a private one-seater escape pod. To be clear, the real-life Secret Service flatly denies such an escape pod exists. But then they would say that, wouldn't they?
Yes, they would of course say that. Yeah, I like this kind of video. Not directly connected to the military, but still I get to have a little bit more goofy fun watching this stuff. So if you're not against it, I will do more videos like this sometimes. Let me know what do you want, because I want to do stuff that you like, otherwise I have no viewers. Who do I shoot the videos for? You guys. So you have to like what I do. If you don't, I won't do it. My friends, thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting the channel on Patreon. Really the best way to support this channel, and really a good way to show me that you like what I'm doing. Thank you. And as always, until my next video, stay cool, my friends, and bye bye.